Some villains exist for one reason. To be laughed at, to get humiliated, so the show can go back to normal by the end of the episode.
I'm quitting teaching to be ruler of the universe!
And then one day, they stop being the joke. Here are 8 times the goofy villain locked in.
Sheldon's a funny name.
Okay.
This is Plankton, the villain who's meant to lose. He's tiny, runs a restaurant with no customers, and he loses to a fry cook every single week. His entire existence circles around one goal: stealing the Krabby Patty formula from Mr. Krabs. The timing is always the same. We always know he'll lose before the episode even starts.
This is Plankton stealing me booty!
In his very first appearance, Mr. Krabs needs a magnifying glass just to find him. But once he locks in, suddenly the formula is the last thing anyone's worried about. And the algae's always greener. We see another act of Plankton's genius as he swaps lives with Mr. Krabs and finally gets the Krusty Krab.
You know what they say, a rolling stone gathers no algae.
It's impossible to fail with that plan. Well, he lasts about a day. SpongeBob wants a performance review, Squidward wants a promotion, Pearl wants an allowance. So he gives it all back and goes home to eat holographic meatloaf. He wanted to beat Mr. Krabs, and the second beating Mr. Krabs stopped being the point, he quit because he couldn't handle the stress.
Run away and find a new daddy.
Make it stop!
And then there's the episode called Plankton. He crawls into SpongeBob through a pore, walks up to the brain, and bolts a mind control device onto it. He drives SpongeBob out of his own house, past Squidward.
Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player.
Mediocre?
Into the Krusty Krab and back out with a Krabby Patty. He walks the formula straight into his own lab. Then SpongeBob starts describing how good the burger tastes. Plankton gets hungry, jumps for it, misses, and falls into his own analyzer.
Plankton, 1% evil, 99% hot gas.
He was one lever away from winning, and his own appetite took him out. Plankton doesn't lose because he's small. He loses because he can't see past the formula. Every episode he stares straight at the one thing he wants and trips over himself.
Well, this stinks.
Plankton's real enemy is his own obsession. The next villain spent his whole life chasing the truth, and nobody believed him. But they were wrong.
Fairy godparents!
Denzel Crocker teaches at Dimsdale Elementary. His real obsession is proving that fairy godparents exist. The only evidence he has is a note he wrote to himself years ago, back when he actually had fairy godparents, which means he's been right the entire time.
Fairy godparents exist.
40 years of his life, all built around a message he doesn't even remember writing. Chasing 2 fairies he doesn't remember were ever his. He looks ridiculous, hunched back, horrible teeth. The show treats him like the punchline.
F's for everyone! It's an F-a-palooza!
The whole city says he's crazy. Crocker doesn't care. And the day he finally gets real magic in his hands, he doesn't waste a second of it. In Cheese and Crockers, a fusion machine merges him with a plate of nachos and gives him cheese powers. I know, stay with me.
My own nefarious purposes! Now to capture Turner's fairies with cheese!
He uses his new powers to break into Timmy's room and capture Cosmo and Wanda. And with 2 fairies in his fist and unlimited magic on tap, the first thing Denzel Crocker wishes for is good hair, to win over his high school crush, and, well...
Yes, I will.
Well, forget it!
Man, that's evil. Anyway, Crocker regenerates from every injury. He dominates every exchange, and for a while, it looked like he had everything under control. Until Timmy pulled this lie.
I have more fairies at home. How else did I get my rocket powers?
Crocker believes him and readjusts his entire strategy. Timmy hits him with mold powers, and just like that, it's over. He had the win in his hands, and he traded it chasing something bigger. But the real lock-in comes in Abracatastrophe.
My sensors detect a high concentration of magic.
Timmy is given a magic muffin. One wish, no rules attached. Crocker gets his hands on it, and he spends the most powerful wish in the universe on something almost nobody would think of.
I wish I could capture a fairy godparent!
The muffin hands him a butterfly net. one of the only objects in existence that fairy magic can't touch. He catches Wanda, then Cosmo. He builds a suit of powered armor with both of them locked inside a scepter and the muffin wired into the chest. Then he uses that power to reshape reality. Dimsdale becomes Slavesdale, and he forces the entire city to worship him as a living deity.
Hey, Bob. Beautiful day to worship Crocker, huh?
Yeah, how about that Crocker?
The man everyone called crazy makes the entire world bow to him. He's so unstoppable, there's only one way left to beat him, and it costs Timmy everything. He has to break the rules, out loud, in front of his parents. He has to admit that Cosmo and Wanda are his fairy godparents, which means losing them forever.
No! Stop! My fairies!
Anyway, Timmy gets them back with a wish from the muffin. But if your victory is so complete that reality itself has to reset to undo it, you were never a joke. And Crocker did it as a mortal man with a bad back against creatures made of pure magic in a universe built specifically to stop him. Drop this guy into any other show and he's the final boss. I mean, yes, he's insane, but think about it for a second. If one day you woke up and realized that magic creatures do actually exist, good luck making people believe you.
But today, it's time for you to bow down for your medicine.
Crocker had the brains and the worst luck. The next villain had every advantage there is, and still turned himself into a joke.
Shigo, please be honest.
Yes, yet you're very evil.
Dr. Draken builds machines in a secret lair, calls himself an evil genius, and gets beaten by a teenage cheerleader roughly once a week. He rants through every scheme as if he needs to convince himself the success is real. Monologues at Shigo, who stopped listening years ago and flinches every time she looks at him funny.
You'd like to know, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Wait, what?
He's a guy doing an impression of a supervillain. And then the movie happens, so the drama. Draken kidnaps Kim's father. Instead of asking for ransom, he wires a machine to his head and pulls the cybertronic technology straight out of his memories. Then he buys a fast food chain.
El Presidente speaking.
Dr. Draken?
Steals a toy design from a Japanese manufacturer, hides the stolen tech inside it, and drops it into the kid's meal. Millions of children around the world take one home and put it on a shelf. Shigo looks at all this and tells him there's no plan here. And Draken tells her that's exactly why it works. If his own partner can't see it, Kim can't either.
You really haven't figured it out, have you?
There is no plan here.
And then he does the coldest thing in the movie. He runs a research project on teenage girls, what they like, how they talk, what they want, and then he creates Eric, a synthetic teenage boy designed specifically to scramble Kim's brain with romance.
Thank you, sir.
Is it just me, or is he perfect?
He seems very nice.
While she's busy trying to balance a real relationship with her hero duties, Draken's robots quietly overwhelm the globe. He finally gets closer to world domination than ever.
I discovered Kim Possible's weakness. Boys, boys, boys.
And the thing that undoes him is Ron getting annoyed about bendy straws. Ron notices Bueno Nacho took the bendy straws away, calls corporate to complain, and the man who picks up the phone is Dr. Draken. He builds a flawless takeover and gets exposed by a customer service call. Kim and Ron manage to destroy the master signal tower in the nick of time.
Please, oh, I beg of you.
Say my name.
For the first time, Draken stops attacking Kim's gadgets and starts attacking Kim herself. Psychologically, he realizes her greatest strength is also her one blind spot, and he builds Eric specifically to exploit it. In every other episode, Draken loses because he needs to be watched. In this movie, he built something so quiet even Shigo can't see coming. Draken was always smart enough to pull this off. He just spent most of his life trying to look like a supervillain instead of thinking like one.
You are so whacked.
Faux shizzle, she gizzle.
Draken spent his whole career chasing world domination. The next villain already runs an empire, an army, a fleet, a whole galaxy that knows his name. And he's the biggest baby in this video.
You need my help?
Lord Hater has everything a galaxy-conquering villain could want. A skull-shaped warship, an army of watchdogs, an entire empire at his command. Except he doesn't act like someone who commands any of it. He rages over small issues, eats like a 5-year-old, and spends half of the show whining. The Empire only works because Commander Peepers runs it for him. The planning, the strategy, the logistics. He talks Hater down like a parent in a supermarket. And Hater is quietly terrified of disappointing him, because Peepers is the only one in the galaxy who genuinely believes he's a great villain. He rules an empire through fear while quietly being terrified of the guy who works for him.
No, Ra!
Then Dominator arrives. She tears through the galaxy, wiping out entire planets without slowing down. By the finale, she's wiped out every planet in the galaxy except one. Peepers admits it's over, and this is the exact moment Lord Hater locks in.
It may seem as though Dominator has won. Wrong!
Peepers walks in expecting the usual meltdown, and for the first time in the entire show, Lord Hater is working. He's figured out that one tiny Class D planetoid has just enough gravitational interference to hide from Dominator's scanners. He found the last planet in the galaxy using gravity wells and thermodynamics. Peepers can't believe it. Hater has an actual plan. He's focused, he's leading, and for the first time, he didn't need anyone to come up with it for him. The clown is gone. Then Dominator shows up and obliterates his warship in one shot. Hater gets back up, plants himself between her drill and the last planet in the galaxy, and throws up an electric shield. When she tells Hater he's a joke, that the galaxy can do whatever it pleases with him, she's stating a fact. Anyone looking at him would reach the same conclusion.
Are literally the worst villain ever.
Until Sylvia, the sidekick of the hero he's chased for 2 whole seasons, smashes the hologram and starts a chant. Hate's great, best villain. And every refugee on that planet picks it up. All the watchdogs, everyone he ever tried to conquer is screaming his name. They're not cheering because he's their villain anymore. They're cheering because somehow he's become their last hope. And with the whole galaxy roaring behind him, Hater grabs Dominator's own drill and shoves it right back through her ship. For the entire show, the tantrums were his ceiling. He got so lost in playing the villain that the act became his cage. He went from crying about breakfast to stopping the one thing nobody else in the galaxy could. Hater spent 2 seasons pretending to be the greatest villain in the galaxy. The day he stopped pretending, he actually became one. The next villain never stopped pretending, and he's the only one in this video who made his own worst enemy.
I have forgotten my wallet. Curses.
Mojo Jojo is a chimpanzee whose brain got so big it grew out of his own skull, so now he wears a helmet to hold it. He talks in circles, saying the same thing 5 different ways, and he'll narrate his own evil plan out loud while he's doing it, in case you missed it.
I am extremely evil. I am the most evil of all evil beings. Nothing is more evil.
And somehow, he's also taken over the entire world. Episode 1 of the entire show, Monkey See, Doggy Do. He steals an Anubis head, turns every human on the planet into a dog, and hypnotizes all of them into bowing to him.
I will give you commands, and you will obey them.
He turns the Powerpuff Girls into dogs too, and kicks them across the floor. Episode 1, he wins. He only loses because Buttercup bites him. So he can do it. The problem is, he spends most of the time performing instead of winning. Except once. In the Powerpuff Girls movie, Mojo locks in, and it's the one time he isn't the punchline. The girls get rejected by the whole town, and they come to Mojo for help. He just tells them they're gonna make the world a better place and lets them build his machine for him.
We did good?
You did very good.
That night, he rounds up every ape in the city, pumps them full of Chemical X, and turns them into an army. By morning, he's taken Townsville and told the whole town that the girls are the ones who helped him do it. He tricked his own enemies into handing him the world.
Mojo Jojo shall be king!
And here's the part that makes Mojo different from everyone else on this video. He doesn't just beat the Powerpuff Girls that day. He's the reason they exist.
Do you really think I would harm my own father.
Before any of this, he was Jojo, the professor's lab assistant, an ordinary monkey who broke everything he touched. And on the day the professor was mixing some ingredients, Jojo shoved him from behind. The professor smashed a jar of Chemical X. It spilled into the mix, and the whole thing exploded. One explosion created the Powerpuff Girls and turned Jojo into Mojo Jojo. He built his enemies and himself in the exact same second.
It was me. It was me.
The girls only exist because he failed. Beat them or lose to them, the answer never changes. He's losing to a problem he created himself. He can take over the whole world, and he's done it before, but he can't have the one thing he actually wants, a world where they were never made. He's smart enough to see all of it, and that's the trap he can never escape. The next villain has the opposite problem. He understands nothing, and he's the punchline of two entire worlds.
This is an outrage! Do I not inspire fear?
This is the Box Ghost, one of the most pathetic villains in Danny Phantom. Everything in his life spins around boxes. They inspire his love, his reverence, and the use of his powers to manage them.
I have power over all containers, cardboard, and square!
I don't know about you, but if I meet a ghost who introduces himself to me like that, I don't know, man, I'd be anything but threatened. He's the joke of two entire worlds. The humans aren't afraid of him. The other ghosts laugh at him to his face. Danny barely bothers turning into a ghost to fight him. Then one day, he sees his own wanted poster, and that's where he locks in. The Ghost Zone puts a bounty on him, $2.50, or best offer.
Beware! That's good.
That's the number that breaks him, because the Box Ghost never wanted to rule anything. He just wanted one person, one time, to take him seriously. So first, he tries with what he's got. He attacks Danny with every box he owns. Lunch boxes that fire out sandwiches, shoe boxes that fire out shoes. He makes everyone happy, which is somehow worse.
They will totally clog your arteries!
In like 40 years?
So he goes for the one box that could fix all of it. He sneaks into Pandora's lair, slips past a 100-eyed giant, and steals Pandora's box. The one built to hold every evil in existence.
And now, it is mine!
And then he opens it, and every time he opens it, whatever crawls out is worse. It starts with a unicorn, then bats, then frogs and snakes, then a Pegasus, then a fire-breathing Hydra the size of a building. Skulker, a professional ghost hunter, has to be rescued by Danny from a pack of unicorns.
I won't tell anyone about this if you won't.
Deal.
Amityville gets overrun. Now suddenly, he's a big deal. In fact, he was so overpowered that Danny needed his family to help him keep the Hydra busy, while he traveled around to find Pandora. And you know, after spreading chaos for half an episode, he eventually failed, and peace and order were restored again.
Command you!
You command nothing!
She makes him clean her gardens as punishment. And here's the thing, the Box Ghost lost, but losing was never the point. He checks his wanted poster one more time, the bounty is up to $50, and two ghosts take a look at his face and run.
Back to work!
Yes, ma'am.
Honestly, even he looked surprised he got that far. He never wanted the world. He wanted one person to be scared of him, and he got it. The Box Ghost was chasing a price tag, and he's the only one who walked away with exactly what he came for. The next villain came 6 seconds away from ending the universe, and still couldn't finish the job.
Professor Finbar Calamitous.
Professor Finbar Calamitous is a tiny, nearsighted mad scientist and Jimmy Neutron's arch enemy. He has one flaw, and the show will not let him forget it. He can't finish anything he starts. Sentences, inventions, evil plans. He gets halfway and stops.
Well, I haven't really worked out what happens after that.
That's the joke. That's why nobody in Retroville is scared of him. So watch what happens when he actually commits. In Lights, Camera, Danger, Calamitous disguises himself as a Hollywood director named Quentin Smithy and runs a screenwriting contest. Jimmy wins. Of course Jimmy wins. The whole contest was built so Jimmy could win. And now the smartest kid in town is standing on a film set where every single scene is rigged to kill him. The rooftop is built to collapse. The roller coaster track is broken. It also gave us one of the most iconic scenes in the entire show.
Are you going to finish that croissant?
Knock yourself out.
And when the actors start quitting on him, he improvises. He adds a musical number that was never in the script, just so the bowler hats can turn into flying blades. The man who can't finish his sentence runs a full film production, on schedule for days to get rid of one kid. He gets beaten by a box of donuts. But the real lock-in comes in a different timeline, the crossover between Jimmy Neutron and the Fairly Odd Parents. Calamitous teams up with Auntie Cosmo, and then Timmy grabs a gene splicer and fires it by accident.
Finally, an all-powerful collaborator of my very own.
Professor Calamitous gets fused into the body of Jurgen von Strangle, the toughest fairy in the universe. Suddenly, he has access to godlike power. So he grabs Cindy, he blasts Jimmy and Timmy, and everyone watching believes he just killed both of them. Turns out fairy magic can't kill anyone, so instead of dying, they got turned into snails. But nobody knows that yet.
But the French eat us with toes.
And then he builds a Big Bang Bomb, a weapon meant to tear the fabric of time, wipe the Earth back to nothing, and let him rebuild it in his own image. Calamitous was never stupid, he was never lacking ideas. His only weakness was that he never followed through. Take that weakness away, and he's terrifying. This is why I believe that his incompleteness was merely a ceiling. The moment luck played in his favor, and the moment he actually committed to a single plan and saw it through, he nearly ended the world. Nobody took him seriously because his track record of failure was so long that it seemed impossible for him to succeed. But this crossover showed us a part of him that we didn't know existed, and that is his arrogance and sense of superiority.
Tiny master, obey me!
And the only reason he loses is that Jimmy and Timmy break the rules on purpose, over and over until Jurgen gets so furious and fights back from inside his own body. Which means Calamitous went down exactly the same way Crocker did. Not because he made a mistake, because someone else did. Every villain on this video eventually locked in. The last one looked at a person he could become and chose not to.
I'm not here! You're not seeing me!
Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz spends his days building machines designed to conquer the tri-state area. He also names every one of them Innator and bolts a self-destruct button onto each one.
Well, I just finished it. It can't be broken already.
Nobody takes him seriously. The man is beloved. He's a good dad, he's weirdly kind. He loses every day and shows up the next morning to lose in a brand new day. We root for him because he keeps dragging himself out the rubble to try again tomorrow.
There's a whole buffet set up here, please. Partake. I was expecting someone who seems to be running late.
Then Across the Second Dimension asks a terrifying question. What if Doofenshmirtz actually locked in?
I'm asking you to do is make my machine work so I can invade and conquer your world and enslave your loved ones.
He rules the tri-state area as a dictator. Same brain, same lab, same face. He built an army of robots and took the whole thing by force, and he's held it for 5 years. And his Perry the Platypus? He didn't lose to him. He beat him, turned him into a cyborg, and made him second in command, Platyborg.
You know, I'm starting to see why you haven't become a ruler in your dimension.
So the two of them meet, and our Doofenshmirtz asks how he did it. The answer is the most humiliating thing in the movie. Big scary boots. That's it, that's the whole difference. Because our Doofenshmirtz built the exact same robots. He just hid the self-destruct buttons on the bottom of their feet where nobody could reach them.
I hid the self-destruct button on the bottoms of their feet so no one could reach them.
Then he asks the dictator what happened to him, what broke him, what turned him into this. He lost a toy train as a kid. That's the backstory.
That's it? What do you mean? That's your emotionally scarring backstory?
And here's what makes that land. Our Doofenshmirtz had a nightmare childhood. His parents didn't show up to his birth. He was raised by ocelots. He has every reason in the world to be the monster, and he's the one who never wins. So when the robot army is on the ground and the dictator is about to crush the boy with a giant robot version of himself, our Doofenshmirtz walks in and hands him the toy train. He takes it, he hugs it, he apologizes, and then he self-destructs his entire army.
Self-destruct button. Ah, you. Yeah, here we go.
Which tells you something uncomfortable about the one we've laughed at for 4 seasons. He gives every machine an off button. He builds the flaw in himself. He treats his own nemesis like family and shows up every single day to lose to him. Our Doofenshmirtz could rule the world tomorrow. I'm kinda glad he'd rather lose to a platypus.
I can't stop. I got a platypus controlling me. I got a platypus controlling me.
Every villain on this video had a version of themselves that actually locked in. The jokes were never the ceiling, they were the leash. The comedy wasn't there to make them harmless. It was there to protect the world from what they could have been.